Now, having installed Google Analytics onto my website, I am now going to do some configuration on Google Analytics and use Python to be able to pull out that data from Google Analytics, that is collecting data from my website. So collecting data like visits and page clicks and things like that, how long people stay in the different pages and how long people sort of what kind of device they're using, things like this. So that's kind of interesting information to have. So what I do here is first go into just Google Analytics, Google Analytics, and then just log in here. So I'm going to show you the website. The website is this one here, my WordPress.com website, which you can go in here and just click around. It's a very basic website. It's just the .com version of it. So basically, it's collected some information here. If I go into Google Analytics, I can see. So what if I want to go and get this information now? So what I need to do is to go in to Google Platform, really. So first, let me just go into Google Platform, Google Cloud, Google Console. Go into Google Console, a Cloud Console here, and then you'll see you're in a project actually. But what I want to do is just create a new project. So let me come out of this and just create a new project, and I'm going to call it Google Analytics 3 on Google Analytics 3. Whoops. Okay, interesting. Here we go. 3 and no location. So the first thing that is this. What you have to do is you have to just make a project, because everything is held inside projects. So this is the name of the project. Just creating a new project here, and then these notifications that I have. Then the thing is here, we've just created a new project. The thing is here, if you go into a project, then you can see stuff about, this is like the dashboard. So you can come in here and you can go and look for APIs somewhere here. So go to the API dashboard. When you're in here, this is where we want to mainly be, but this is the libraries. So in here you can see the libraries of all the different kinds of things that you can do in here. So there's lots of stuff. You can just search through it, scroll through it as well. But the one we're going to search for is Google Analytics. And then when that comes up, it's this one here that we want, Google Analytics Reporting API. So we click into this one. And then for this project, that's strange. No, we haven't selected this project. So anyway, let's go into this project now, and let's make sure that this project is selected here, and then enable this for this project. Then that takes some time to enable. So it's enabled now, and then when it's enabled, it gets onto this screen here with the overview, and then there's this bar on the top that says create credentials. So we're going to create credentials. Just click into that, and then we choose here from the drop down Analytics Reporting API, and then here we choose Application Data, and then for this one I'm not using any of these things, and then you click Next. And then you create a service account name, can be anything. It can be just GA Google accounts on 3. Here we go. And then this will form an email that you need to use later. So you don't need any description here. You just create this here. And then here you get to choose a role. You have to choose the role. The role I'm going to use for this one is just the owner. And then continue. Then after here, this is optional. Just leave it. And then done. And then after this, we have this server's account here. So with this server's account, what we have to do is do something where we should get a file. So we need to get a file somewhere. So this is the API configure consent, manage the server's account, and then there should be a place where you can generate a key, manage access. No. So create server's account. So here, maybe in here, permissions, keys, disable account. This looks like it actually. Go to working page. Permissions. Go to working page, add a key, create a new key, and then go to JSON. Yeah, that's default to it, but then you create that, and then that creates your file. You can close this now, and then if you just go to here, you'll see that this is a JSON file, and if you just look into it, it has all these long things inside it. And then inside here, what you need is really the email. You'll find here an email. This actually is the same email that you actually have outside of the file as well. So you don't really have to come in here. This is to be held where you're running your Python file, Python documents later. So the thing to do now is, private key, go to Jupyter Notebook. Now, what you should have here is a place where you you're using your Python from. So I have it in here. I have it here. Where's my Python? Yeah, Python here actually. So in here is where I am going to, this is where my Jupyter Notebooks are, and I've made this demo one that I'm going to open out, show you in a bit. But what I need to do is I need to copy that file that just got created and put it into there. So I'll just put it in here. So this is now in the same folder as this Jupyter Notebook that I'm going to open out. So if I browse to my Jupyter Notebook, you will see in demo 2 here, inside here, if I just sort of refresh this, well, you will see, I think that's the one here, concise Ivy. So that's the JSON file that I just created, concise ivy here. So inside my Jupyter Notebook, I need to put the name of that file here. And this code is going to be at the bottom of this video as well. And it's going to be in the document as well. So I'll take this here and I'll put this right here. Then that references that file. And then now I need an ID here which comes from really within Google Analytics. So in Google Analytics, I had all this set up, right? I had this view. Now I had this inside here. So inside admin, if I went into admin, then I have this view that is looking at the website that I set up earlier. And what I need to do is come in here and first I need to create an email, create a user which is based on this user that I just created. So this user that was in that file actually, and it's also the name of that user that I just created with a very funny long name. So inside here I will see this user. I just need to copy this GA-3. Then come into Google Analytics, user management. And you see there's already one here, but then I'm going to add another one for this purpose here, for this demo. Add a user, enter this email here, and notify. Don't want to notify, and all these other things I don't really need. It just needs to read and analyze. So HON3 is here. Add this. Now I've created that user who can read and analyze, and then close it here. And then another thing here is I need to come in here and get the ID. This viewing ID is one that goes into the Python file. So I copy from here. I put this into my Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook here. So now that should allow me to run the rest of this. And you see it ran before using other credentials, so I'm going to see if it actually works now using this. So clear all the output, restart and clear all the output. All blank, and then control and enter. So you can see, what does this do? It's the interesting bit that I added here is to look for different columns. So look for different metrics and dimensions to add into your report. And you can go through this and you can find these dimensions and metrics by going into this website here, GA Dev Tools appsspot.com, Dimensions Metrics Explorer. So you can, let's see what I've done here. You can look for something like, if you didn't look for anything and then you just had all of these things, you can see it just expands out, sort of like geo network, and then it tells you the name of the field in Google Analytics. And all of this is just too much because there's so many of them. So what you can also do here is you can just search. So say it's search for something like name. So all these things to do with a name that have a name either in this name here or a name here in the description, and then you can find all of these and you can add them into your query, either if they are dimensions or if they're metrics, and then see where you can put them in, either metrics here or dimensions here, and just add them in. And I just added a bunch that I thought was interesting, and yeah, this is what I got. So it actually works, and you get the date. I just cut this. There's different measurements for the date as well here, but really you can sort of just use the full one here, and then cut it up if you want. But then it tells you some interesting things like the device here that was used, the medium, was it direct or did it come from another page like Facebook or something like this, the country, and yeah, so that's all quite interesting. And there's more data than this actually. Let's expand that out. And when I expand that out, you can see a little bit more, but not that much. But then, yeah, you've got all these interesting things like the time somebody spent on the page and all these kinds of statistics here. So that's how you go to Google Analytics and you are able to take that data out. So just display it out in a data frame inside Jupyter Notebook. So in summary, the way to do this really is to go to Google Analytics and create a new project, and then from the project create a sort of a new user, a new credentials. From that, just you're able to make a sort of a JSON file, and the JSON file has credentials inside it, and you put that in the same place where your Jupyter Notebook is. And your Jupyter Notebook needs some settings as well, and those settings are going to be the email that is used, and then you have that is inside that JSON file, that is this new account that you made. So you put that into your Jupyter Notebook to do your query. And then you also need a viewing ID, which also comes from GA as well, Google Analytics. And then after that, you're able to query it, and you're able to use this other Dimensions and Metrics Explorer to be able to just look at which things or columns you want to actually bring out into your query. And then you can just use the code to query it like that and just run it. So I'm going to leave all of this code inside this the document that comes with this as a PY file, maybe, or a text file, something simple like this, and it will just come with this video and come with this documentation. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it.